A Serbian girl bathed in her own blood was crying out for help. But as far as she could see nothing but darkness. The girl was dragging her body when suddenly a tall woman who had taken the form of a nun appeared. She put it on his head and said, "Why be ashamed of me? You called me and I came." Sitting in a room in a house, two couples, Natalia, John, Rohan, and Zara, were enjoying their beer when suddenly something started murmuring. The next day, they all left for Goa. When everyone reached Goa after a long drive of 6 hours, everyone got tired and went to sleep in their rooms. As soon as the evening broke, all four came out of their rooms. Wearing a swimsuit, they went out to have fun in front of the villa. All four were playing with the ocean waves. Zara saw a mark on Rohan's back. It was of a small hand mark, but Rohan ignores her. Zara teases Rohan and runs into the villa. Rohan also runs after him, smiling. As soon as Rohan was going towards his room, suddenly he heard a sound. Rohan wanted to know the truth of that voice, but such a fire of lust was burning inside him that no one could extinguish. Due to this fire, Rohan went to Zara's room. As soon as Rohan left, the smile of that nun started increasing automatically, as if he has found a victim. Here, Natalia and John were also coming inside from the sea. As soon as he enters the villa, he shows him his great-grandfather's chest. He has a book, which Natalia starts reading. Bloody Mary. The owner of this villa, Dennis, remembers Bloody Mary as his caretaker. Bloody Mary took care of this villa with all her heart, but she fell in love with Dennis. And whenever Dennis took a mistress for his pleasure, her body was found on the seashore the next day. And the Bloody Mary is imprisoned in a large glass. If he wants to be freed, he will have to go in front of the mirror at 3 o'clock in the night and take the name of Bloody Mary 3 times. He starts laughing after hearing all this, and John picked up Natalia and took her to the bathroom. After a few hours, when all four were tired and fell asleep, suddenly Natalia's eyes opened and she was going to the kitchen room to fill water. Suddenly his eyes fell on the clock in which it was 3 o'clock. Seeing whom, she smiled and laughingly went in front of the mirror and said, "Bloody Mary" thrice. As soon as he spoke, there was a silence of fear all around. Natalia's throat was starting to dry now. Before she could understand anything, a black light came out from inside the mirror. Who took that girl inside him? Natalia's condition had worsened due to being drawn into the dark inside of the glass. She looked around but saw nothing but darkness, so she could not even walk properly, so she was calling for help. Natalia was dragging her body when suddenly a tall woman who had taken the form of a nun appeared. She said by placing it on his head, "Why be ashamed of me? You called me, and I came." Before Natalia could utter her last words, Bloody Mary tore her body in half with her long nails, and came out of the mirror. Rohan and Zara, who were clinging to each other like two pairs of snakes. He got up from the opening of the window. When Rohan got up to close the window, he saw a woman dressed as a nun outside on the beach, the one who was touching her. Rohan found all this strange, so he quickly closed the window. But as soon as he closed the window, the nun came in front of him as soon as he turned around. Rohan was very scared to see her. Zara, who was watching all this from her bed, could not understand what happened to Rohan. Rohan, who was shouting loudly till now, suddenly started shouting seeing Zara coming towards him. Zara tells him that I am your Zara. Why are you afraid of me, Rohan? But in Rohan's eyes, she was not Zara but the nun of the painting, who wanted to eat him. Rohan broke the thing he had kept there and inserted his sharp object into her neck. After some time, he realized that he had killed his own girlfriend Zara. Rohan kept on crying loudly. While crying, he again heard the same sound which he had heard while coming home. Rohan got angry and started shouting loudly in front of the picture of that nun outside, and kept calling him to come out. That picture started smiling as soon as Rohan said it. Fingers full of blood started coming out from both sides of the frame of that picture, and feet came out from the lower frame, who crushed his body while running towards him at that speed. Rohan was dead now. John, who was sleeping for a long time. Rohan's scream broke his sleep. As soon as he woke up, he realized that even Natalia was not in the room. Her face changed as soon as she came out. Rohan was lying dead on one side. So on the other hand, half of Natalia's body was lying dead inside the glass. John had gone too far now. Without losing any time, he ran towards the main door, but suddenly someone appeared in front of him, and she was none other than Bloody Mary, the caretaker of this villa, who held John tightly and said softly in his ear, "Dennis is rightfully his heir. Now both of us will be together forever." Bloody Mary kissed John hard and pulled him inside.